First, we'll go over the tools you'll need. This tool is a receptacle fault tester. It tells you if there's any issues with the receptacle and what issues they are, depending on which lights light up. And depending on which lights light up, you'll correspond those with what's on the chart on the top. This next tool is a non-contact voltage tester. You can test for voltage through the slots of the outlet itself, or once you take the cover off, you can test for voltage by touching it to the terminals on the outlet where the wires are connected to the outlet. The end of this tester will turn solid red whenever it detects electricity. This is another type of non-contact voltage tester that I got in a kit with the receptacle fault tester. This one will blink red whenever it detects electricity. My rule of thumb is don't always rely on the non-contact voltage testers, especially with tamper-resistant receptacles, and you can read that on the description I have on the screen. And then some other tools you're going to need is a Phillips head screwdriver, and then a flathead screwdriver, and then a pair of wire stripper pliers, and you can get all these from any hardware store. I got all mine from Home Depot. And it's always nice to have a good pair of rubber gloves and a pair of safety glasses. And before you take the cover off, you want to head to the breaker, shut the power off to the corresponding receptacle, and it's recommended to wait 3 to 5 minutes. Go ahead and shut the power off at the breaker to the corresponding receptacle. Go ahead and put your outlet fault tester in. Make sure there's no power. No lights mean no power. That's good. And go ahead and take your flathead screwdriver and remove that one screw it's holding the cover on. Some of the time these will stick from painting. If they do, just kind of wedge the flathead in between the wall and the cover and twist lightly. And what I like to do is grab the voltage tester and touch it to the terminals on the outlet just to make sure there is no power going to the outlet. And if it stays green, that means no power. And I'll do this to both sides of the outlets. And then you'll remove the top and bottom screws holding the receptacle into the junction box, and then go ahead and pull the outlet out. The bare copper wire is going to be your ground. The white wires on the left of the receptacle are your neutral. The black wires on the other side on the right are your hot wires. That's where your power comes in. This outlet I'm working with today is a push-in terminal style receptacle, so what you're going to have to do is just cut the wires flush with the back of the outlet, all four in this case. So just a quick explanation of what I'm talking about. So whenever they strip those wires of the insulation, they'll actually push the bare copper ends of the wires into the back of the outlet instead of looping them and screwing them onto the sides of the outlet. And then loosen the screw holding the ground wire to the receptacle, and then remove the ground wire. And make sure you keep orientation of which wires came off what terminals on the outlet. I just like to separate them like this once I can get to them so I can start stripping the insulation. Also, another thing I wanted to talk about is on the back of outlets, they have a guide on how much insulation to strip off of the wire. And all you do is just hold it up to the wire like that, and it tells you exactly how much insulation to strip off. Now you just match up whichever gauge wire you have with your pliers, squeeze, twist, and pull. And now you want to grab the tip of the bare copper where you just strip the wires with the black wires that are going to be on the right of the receptacle. You want to twist them up in a circular motion, and the opposite with the white, so it'll look like this. And if you do get confused on what wires go to which terminals, it also tells you on the back of the outlet which side's hot and which side's neutral. And now you'll put the neutral wires and the hot wires on their corresponding terminals. Once you get the wires on, you can pinch the wires so it gets a real tight, strong connection around the screw terminals. And it's the same process with the ground. And then you'll take your screwdriver and get those wire terminals real tight, and don't get them snug, get them tight. Accordion the wires, fit back in the junction box, put the mounting screws back on to hold the receptacle in the box, put the cover back on, turn the power on, and especially when a job like this, you always want to test it after you're finished. Make sure everything's working good. Like, subscribe, and comment down below if you like any of this content. Till then, we'll see you on the next one.